Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. I got a request to make a video on wage bracket method that was not covered in my previous videos on section 6. So here it is. Now before we dig into the examples, I want to point out that wage method tables cover only up to the annual wages of $100,000. If anyone is earning more than $100,000 a year, then we will use percentage method to calculate the federal income tax in that situation. We will look into the examples of calculating federal income tax if the employee has submitted Form W-4 from after 2020, which do not have the withholding allowances because we can't claim withholding allowances anymore. And we will also look at one example where we have to calculate the federal income tax based on the W-4 from earlier than 2019 when the withholding allowances were allowed. There are a lot of tables when we are dealing with wage bracket methods based on the filing status and different pay frequencies. So please make sure that you're on the correct table when you're using the wage bracket method. The tables are based on pay periods, so you don't have to convert what you pay to the employee per pay period into annual income as we do it in the percentage method. If the employee submitted W-4 2020 and later, we will use the worksheet 2, which is on page 7, followed by the tables. And if we have the older W-4 2019 or earlier, then we will use the worksheet 3, which is on page 22, followed by the tables. Now, let's look at the examples. Let's have a look at the new W-4 form for a moment. Be familiar with this new form. Just a review. On the new W-4 form, the employee cannot claim exemptions as they are taken away. In step 2 of the form W-4, the employee checks or unchecks a box. And on the step 3, the employee can claim the annual tax credits. On step 4, which has 3 parts, 4A, the employee indicates the additional annual income, maybe from other jobs or outside jobs. And on step 4B, he enters the additional annual deductions. And on step 4C, he indicates the additional withholding per pay period. Now let's look at our first example. In this example, the employee has 2020 W-4 info. He's claiming single and he's paid $1,500 weekly. On step 2 of the form W-4, the box is unchecked. And in step 3, the employee is claiming $500 as annual tax credit. On step 4C, he has entered additional $150 as an extra withholding per pay period. So if you look on the left hand side of this sheet, this is the worksheet 2 that we are going to use to calculate the federal income tax using the wage bracket method when form W-4 is from 2020 or a year later or later years. So there are 4 steps. Step 1 is just the calculation of adjusted gross wages per pay period. So in step 1, the first thing that they're asking is to enter the employee's taxable wages for this pay period, which is $1,500 in our example. Then there are some sub-steps. In those sub-steps, they're asking us to add any additional income that the employee has, and the information is coming from step 4A of the form W-4. Now step 4A will give you the annual additional income. That's why we are dividing it by 52 in this example. Though we don't have any additional income, but if there was, then we will divide it by 52 and we'll get that answer, and we will add that to 1500. So in our case, we are adding 0 because there is no information given. Same thing with the annual deduction, and the information is coming from step 4B of the form W-4. which is also 0. So our adjusted gross wages per pay period in this example is $1,500. Now let's look at the step 2 of the worksheet. We have to find the appropriate tax table. In our case, it's weekly table for the W4 2020 or later. Familiarize yourself with the format of this table. The top part has 4 main sections. Each section has 2 columns. The first section is the adjusted wage range, and the rest of the sections are for different filing statuses: the married filing jointly, head of household, and single or married filing separately. You will see 2 columns under each of the filing status. One is white, other is gray. Standard withholding, which you will use when the box on the step 2 of the form W4 is unchecked. And you will use other column, the gray column, when in the step 2 the box is checked. In our example, we are told that the box in step 2 of the form W4 is unchecked. That's why we will use the standard withholding column under single or married filing separately. And the tax amount is $195. Now look at the step 3 on the worksheet. It's telling you to deduct the tax credit. The amount given to us is annual, so we will first divide it by 52 to get the weekly amount. And we get the amount of $9.62. We will deduct this amount from our tax. The last step on the worksheet is to add any extra withholding. We'll find this information on step 4C of the form W4. The amount given to us is $150. This amount is not an annual amount, but it is for the pay period. So we will add that to our tax amount after the tax credit, and we come up with the weekly tax of $335.38. Now let's look at one more example. In this example, the W4 info is from 2018. Employee is claiming single and employee is paid $1,000 a week. He is claiming 3 allowances and the additional amount to withhold is $150. So all that information is coming from his 2018 W4, and we have to calculate the federal income tax for 2021 to be withheld from each paycheck using wage bracket method. We will use worksheet 3 because we are using the old W4, and it is on page 22. Now this method, this one is the easiest of all because it's the old method that we were using earlier before the new W4 came. So we will go straight to the tables based on the pay frequency, filing status, and number of allowances. We'll find the tentative tax amount. For the older W4 forms, there is a separate table for each filing status. We are looking at a single filing status. Wage range is between $990 and $1,005 because the weekly salary is $1,000. And then we look for the 3 additional withholding allowances, and the tax that we get is $77. There is no place on the older W4 form for the employee to enter any tax credits, so we don't worry about any amount that we have to deduct from this tax. We are also given the additional withholding amount, which is $150. So we will add $150 to our tax of $77, and the total amount that will be withheld per pay period for this employee will be $227. And that's all in this video. If you want me to make a video on any topic related to CPP exam, please leave a comment below, and please do like and share my videos with others who are planning to take the CPP exam. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.